Good morning, class. Today we will start with our next book. If you all have the books, this is your book, Reverie. It will be your poem book. So those who have this particular book, I'll be starting to teach from it. We will start with our first poem that is in your course for class 11. It's not sequence wise, so I will teach according to the syllabus that is required to be taught in class 11. Our first poem to be done in class 11 would be The Dolphin. You all know dolphins. They are these wonderful sea creatures, very, very affectionate, very friendly, especially to man. They have a very, very good relationship with human beings. Dolphins and humans have a very, very good relationship. So this poem basically is written by the poet Carol Ann Duffy, in which she is talking about the plight of these dolphins. Like, she is going to highlight the difference between a free dolphin and a dolphin in captivity. In today's video, I will just do the introduction of this poem. So you all will get an idea. One shall have an idea formed in your mind regarding the poem. It is very simple to understand then. So in today's video, it will be just an introduction to this particular poem, right? So, and in this, as I have said, the poet is trying to highlight the difference in the life of a free dolphin that is out in the sea and a dolphin in captivity. Like, you have these entertainment parks. We have some in India also, but usually abroad we have, in which these dolphins are captive, put into these entertainment parks, and they are given everything, no doubt, food, everything is there provided, but they are trained. Sometimes they balance a ball on their nose, they'll jump through some hoop, they are trained to eat from people's hands, take selfie with people also. Some dolphins are so well trained that you go take your position, they'll come out at a particular time from behind, and the photographer can take a selfie also with you and the dolphin posing from behind. So we are going to start with this poem, just the introduction or just a brief summary of the poem, right? We have the poem which is divided into four stanzas, okay, and we will be doing stanza wise, and you all are now in class 11, so you all have, you know, from class 10 how poetries are taught and how you should be understanding it. So I'll just read and explain also. The poem is in the form of a monologue. These are minute things which you are supposed to understand. Monologue is where one person is speaking only the narrator, and the others are there to listen. That's a monologue. So the entire poem is in the form of a monologue. The poem is in the form of a monologue by a dolphin, and the author is there, the poet, but this monologue or the dialogue that is being spoken is not of the human being, it's not of the poet. In fact, it is the dolphin who is speaking his heart out, the dolphin telling its plight, and this dolphin is under captivity of human being. So the hard fact of being captive, living a life under these circumstances, the dolphin is practically complaining about this life and the previous life it was having, right? So by a dolphin who lives in an ocean where it could not only stay afloat but also find joy and pleasure. Now there are two dolphins. One is the dolphin that is free to move about in the ocean. Wherever it wants it can swim, wherever it wants it can come out, whenever it wants it eats. It does not have to follow the commands of anyone. It's its own master. The dolphin remembers its previous life in the ocean and compares it with her present stage of confinement in the pool. So this particular dolphin has been captivated from the sea, and it is comparing the present life, complaining about its present life and the life it was living in the sea, right? The dolphin says that although there are in their elements, it says there are no complaints. They have vast stretch of water, a pond is there, they are fed from time to time, they are looked after very well, everything is given to them, but they have to follow instructions. They can't live an independent life, a life they want to live. When even if they're feeling down, if they're feeling whatever they're going through, one command and they have to come out of the water, perform for audiences, and then the routine starts. Okay, so the dolphin says that although they are in their elements, that is in the water outside it, they cannot breathe, yet they are confined in a pool and not free as in the expansive ocean. Like they are in water, water is water, sea water, pond water, same. But the limitation in the pond, it can't be compared to the freedom it gets in the ocean. In the ocean it's vast. Pond is just has to go round and round, round and round, round and round. The dolphin looks at other dolphins whose shapes, restricted movement and thoughts are the same. It looks at other dolphins in captivity also, and it imagines that they are living a life, same life. They are under captivation. They have to circle that same pond, follow the same instructions, do the same things in life routinely. Okay, there is a man and there are hoop. Now it's the present life. There's this trainer, he gives a command, he whistles out, he puts a hoop. Dolphin looking at the hoop has to jump into that hoop. Entertaining people. Even if it likes it, it does not like it, it has to do it. That's its work, it's paid for that. Okay, so there is a man and there are hoop, signifying that dolphins are enslaved. This is the meaning, that they are trapped, they are enslaved, controlled by someone, and they are expected to perform tricks in the pool with hopes like in the circus. Just like a circus, first they used to have animals in circus, now they don't have, but just like a circus, this is a water circus where dolphins are performing in the water. Then there is a reference to the constant flowing guilt. Here the constant flowing refers to the necessity of creating an artificial habitat. Here the dolphin is living in guilt, that it is forced to live under such circumstances because it has been captive from the sea, it has been taken, brought here, has to remain the rest of his life under such circumstances, and that is pitiful for the dolphin, hard to digest for the dolphin. That was your first stanza. Your second stanza, the confined pool does not offer these dolphins any truth or reality. The environment in which they are living right now is not their reality, not the actual life that they are supposed to live. It is an artificial created and lacks the expanse and the environmental of a natural. Now, pool has its limitations and it cannot be compared to the vastness of the sea. A dolphin gets information about its world through its skin. Now, dolphin has senses on its skin. It can pick up vibration from tens of miles, where food is, where danger is, and all these type of things it gets through the vibration that comes onto its skin. But here in the pond, in the pool, no such thing. There's no vibrations and there's nothing to pick up in this thing. So that instinct of the dolphin is going useless, right? In the limits of the pool, it finds nothing new but the same monotonous work day in and day out. It has to do the same things. The dolphin has taken days to translate the truth of its new environment because it was so used to the expansion of it. Has taken a long time to adjust under these environments. Imagine being free in the sea, such a vast sea, and now living in such an environment. So it takes a long time for the dolphin to understand this transformation. Okay. Besides the dolphin's confinement, their activities are also controlled. Every activity of when it has to get up, when it has to jump out of the pond, when it has to stay in the water, everything is controlled by its trainer. It has to follow the instruction of a human being, right? That is your stanza 2. Stanza 3, the dolphin emphasizes that they are no longer blessed, and this world which they inhabit now can never be as vast and deep as their previous. Now it knows that they are not blessed, they have to live under such some circumstances, and this is their world, and it has to just do what it is supposed to do under these circumstances. In this stanza, the poet has also stressed the mutual understanding between the dolphin and how they define themselves with reference to each other, how the different dolphins have this understanding among themselves. The dolphin remembers the time when they were in the sea. Now, sometime when it is relaxing, when it is free, it goes back into its flashback and recollects the time they had when they were in the sea. So, but now it appears to be an old memory. Now this freedom of theirs seems to be very, very far off, and for so much time now it has been living under these tragic circumstances. So that is your stanza 3. Fourth stanza. This stanza presents a bleak. Bleak is very, very dull, desolate, very remote way of living. So a bleak and a hopeless future for the dolphin. Dolphin knows that however it's living, wherever it's living, this is going to be its final destiny. There's no chance of returning back to the sea. No chance at all of getting back its freedom. So it reconciles himself to these circumstances. The dolphins live in a confined world where the moon seems to have disappeared. Moon is sunshine, the light from person's life. Okay, the moon, the natural regulator of tides and indirectly the lives of the dolphin, has been replaced by an unnatural man-made object. So it's comparing its life, the present circumstances living, and the life it had lived before this. The dolphin once again refers to the monotony of its existence, how monotonous life is, how very dull life could be under these circumstances, that is in captivity. It is suggested by a single note of music that is played regularly. It's just like listening to the same song, you get fed up of it. This is the condition of the dolphin. Day in and day out, it has to perform the same tricks. Okay, there's no joy for it. This single note refers to the whistle blowing by the man. He just blows the whistle, the trainer. Listening to the whistle sound, the dolphin jumps out, and it knows very well which performance has to be done, which act has to be performed, when it has to be done, how it has to be done. It knows fully well everything. Okay, so the mournful voice of the dolphin companion caused by the loss of freedom and joy turns the dolphin's heart to stone. Now it's not alone also. There are more dolphins with it in the pond, and all are living the same tragic life. All are having the same pathetic life. All are having the same monotonous life that day in and day out they are supposed to live this life. And it is comparing its own self to its other friends also living a life like this. Okay? So, the mournful voice of the dolphin companion caused by the loss of freedom and joy turns the dolphin's heart to stone. Living such a life, its heart has practically turned like a stone. No emotions, no feelings at all. It shows that the dolphin has sympathy for its own species. It shows that even though it is living such a life, it still has compassion for other dolphins who are also living a life like it is forced to live. They are rendered hopeless by their condition. All these type of dolphins are having the same pathetic life. They sink to the limits of the pool, that is possibility that for once limitless, the dolphin now has limits, it has its own restrictions. There is a man to control, and the limitation is that it is controlled by the trainer. It has to follow the instructions of a trainer. So my dear students, this particular poem, The Dolphin by Carroll and Duffy, could be taken for human beings also, like bonded labor, people who are forced to do what others tell them to do. So the comparison is coming down that way also. Okay, so the poetess has very craftily depicted the life of a dolphin, but in reality also she is trying to bring out the lives of people who are in bondage, who are living a life of bondage, right? So I have just given you a brief summary of the entire poem. From the next class onwards, we will start the stanza wise explanation. I will be explaining it to you stanza wise, and you all can take out your books if you have it, or note it down somewhere, the explanation that I give you all. Till then, goodbye, God bless.